Hey guys, figured out to geek out with this one and talk about gaming. Gaming. There seems to be a divide between hardcore and casual now. Casual being the stuff you see on Facebook, and hardcore being things like Halo, which I grew up with the original Nintendo, trust me. I suck at first-person shooters, and I can beat Halo faster than I can beat Ninja Gaiden. In fact, I've never even played Ninja Gaiden, and I've played first-person shooters, so. Um, Speaking from this experience, I would love to know why so many people who call themselves hardcore gamers look down on casual gaming. I haven't heard the reverse, but if it's true, then tell me why, where the casual gamer looks down on the hardcore gamer. But I'll be honest. I know I'm a casual gamer. I'll try to play hardcore games occasionally. I suck at them because I don't really have gaming skills, but I can play some casual games quite nicely. I'm not talking Farmville, I'm talking more like Bejeweled or Plants vs. Zombies, something like that. Uh, the farming games are more Sims, and I do play them on Facebook, but I kind of keep them to myself, and I don't play Farmville at all, so don't ask. But I don't understand. Like, a lot of hardcore gamers hate the Wii, and I happen to like the Wii a lot. I've played other systems too, and I have nothing against Xbox or PlayStation. I do like them. Um, it's just that I prefer the Wii. I actually do like it. Yeah, it has its faults, but nothing's perfect. I'll be flat. Xbox and PlayStation have their faults, and those are quite well known as well. Uh, but my thing is that have you tried some of these games, or do you just have a vendetta against them because they're not bloody, gory, or first-person shooters? Because to be perfectly honest, games like Mario Galaxy can be hard if you don't know what you're doing. Um, or even older games, it seems like hardcore gamers want to paint themselves as someone who wants a challenge. But the thing is you don't need adult content for it to be a challenge. It's more along the lines of what do you find more difficult or less difficult? I'll be perfectly honest, I am terrible at fighting games, and I am terrible at first-person shooters, so I find those more difficult. So for me, that would be a hardcore gaming experience. But I'm actually pretty good at RPGs, so that would be more of a casual game for me. I really think the whole thing is in the eye of the beholder, rather than hardcore versus not hardcore. Um, and I would love to see a lot of the newer hardcore gamers play the stuff I grew up on, like the original Mario, where all you did was try to get to the princess, and it got harder and harder with each level, and if you found the warp zones, you were freaking lucky. Well, not lucky, but you know what I mean. Or playing the either second Mario game, either the one that, the Americans grew up with or the one the Japanese grew up with, because both of those were not easy games. I prefer the one the Americans grew up with because it kind of introduced more elements than the one the Japanese grew up with, so it feels more canon to me. I could be totally wrong. Actually, I consider both canon. Like maybe the second Japanese Mario game happened, and then Super Mario 2 that we grew up with happened. So maybe that's just my weird timeline. I'm just strange. Um, and I do know the story behind it, but I actually don't care. But that's kind of my point, is I would love to see them play some of the old games, like the original Legend of Zelda. You were kind of just thrown in there and you had no clue what you were doing. Um, or the original Mario or Ninja Gaiden, the original game, where there was no blood. You just had to avoid all the fucking birds. The original Final Fantasy, games like that. I'd love to see these young kids play, and if they have played them, okay, I can consider you like a real hardcore gamer because they coined the term Nintendo Hard, which meant you were there for a weekend. Um, at the same time, I also don't think a game should be purposely try to be Nintendo hard. I don't like hard games. I get very frustrated very easily, so that's why I know I'm a casual gamer and will call myself one. I'm not able to handle half the crap that gets thrown at me. I mean, I loved the Mario games, and I love the Super Mario 64. I love the original Zelda and Zelda 2. I've actually beaten both, so um, I love Mario 2. I love Super Mario Land, and I have beaten it. One of the first games I got for Game Boy. But they were frustrating. They were hard for me because I suck at games. But and games like Final Fantasy are a little easier for me because it's turn-based and I can handle that. And even then, I haven't beaten Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 3, depending on which version you got. I still haven't beaten that game. I've beaten 4. Okay, I've beaten 4/2. So just and I know I'm a casual gamer, but I'd love to know why there's such a stigma against that. Like, why is Nintendo bad for catering to a more casual audience? That's 99% of the gamers. I mean, I'm not gonna expect my dad to be a hardcore gamer. He doesn't like video games. Granny and Grandpa may want the Wii to do exercise or bowl or something, and it can be fun. It's called, playing with your friends. It's called having fun. And that's really my main question is, when did video gaming start becoming about how awesome you are and not about having fun? In fact, have fun with your next game, guys. By the way, I really am hoping the next Alan Wake is good because I haven't played and I do want to play it. I have seen the first one and I will admit, it's really awesome. So yeah, I hope the next one is really awesome too. And whatever games you play, have fun. Don't get too nitpicky about things. And my food's ready. I gotta go. Bye!